Welcome, goblins and ghouls, to my 2024 Halloween animatronic collection video. So let's get started right here with Bobby Strings.
Hey, everyone! Wanna hear a song? Let me sing it for you! Oh, I know a naughty child who was so very bad. He ate up all my candy and made me real mad. So when I get free, I'm gonna fix him good. He's gonna bump heads with this block of wood. Haha, let that be a lesson, kids. Don't be a blockhead.
Here is Henry Hustle.
Time for a trick. Remember this card. It'll be the last thing you'll ever see.
Next up is Monty. Next up is Wacky Mole.
Right, boys and girls. Who's next to get walloped by my hammer? I'll be the first on your block to say, Wacky Mole, club me over the head.
Next up is Peekaboo Clown.
Where'd everyone go? I can't see, because I had my eyes closed. Blah! But I'll keep them open to see where you run away to. You can run, but you can't hide.
Next up is the Tumbling Clown. Next up is Peekaboo Penny. Next up we have Pennywise.
You look like a nice boy. I bet you have a lot of friends.
Next we have Thierry.
Roses are red, violets are blue. You better hide, or I'm gonna catch you.
Next up is Creepy Towering Clown.
I'm looking for someone to play hide and seek with. You go hide, and I'll come find you. Start running.
Next is the Sitting Scare Clown.
Surprise!
Next up is Hugs.
Do you want to play a game? If I catch you, then I get to eat you. Gotcha! Oh, I missed. Ah, well, I'll just have to catch the next one then.
Next up is the Jester from the Underworld.
We are going to have so much fun playing evil characters, and we've only begun. I have so many to choose, over a ton, but having trouble deciding which one. Every mask is horrific, even worse than the last. The performance top-notch and never outclassed. I'll strip away your courage until you have none, and soak up your terror when I am done. Consider yourself warned from my mirthful pun, that if you value your life, don't walk away, run!
Next up is Frighten the Box. Next up is the Pumpkin Twins.
Don't you look scary tonight?
Is my head on straight?
I hope we see some ghosts and goblins tonight.
Give us something good and sweet.
Next up is the Smoldering Zombie Groundbreaker. Next up is the Roaming Chucky, which unfortunately obviously cannot roam in the dirt, so we'll move up to the Servo Chucky.
Go ahead and shoot. I'll be back. I always come back.
Next up is the Sewer Varmint, which I do actually have 2 of. Next up is the Butcher, which unfortunately does not work. Next up is the Looming Strawman.
I hear that these parts is haunted. That don't scare you none? Thinking that somebody's gonna grab you. Lucky for you, I'm the only thing haunted around here. You best skedaddle now.
Next up is Possessed Pumpkin.
I need a skeleton or two from my haunted house. Yours looks just about right.
Next up we have Headless Help.
I told my father I wanted a new cut, so he started with my neck.
Next up is the Lunging Witch.
Well, hello. You don't happen to have some candy for a sweet little old lady, do you? Give it to me! Too quick for me. I'll get it next time.
Next up is the Roaming Antique Doll, which, just like Chucky, can't roam on grass, so I'm not going to be able to activate her today. Next up we got Strawman.
You aren't afraid of little me, are you? Why, I love this time of year, with the dead leaves all around us, and the darkness wraps around us like a mildewing blanket. Perhaps we could get acquainted while I sharpen my tools.
Next up we have Rusty, who unfortunately does not work. Next up we got the Drop Down Scarecrow. He's just in an outfit that I used for the haunt last year.
There's not a soul left. They're all gone.
Next up we have Miserable Marie. Next up we have Limb Eating Zombie Boy. Next up we have Twitch. Next up we have the Cauldroness.
Your soul fills the night air, soon to join my pot of despair, and a dash of the smell of death, and up will rise the demon's breath.
Next up we have Eternal Rest. Next up we have Terror TV. Next up we have Angeline.
Why do you look so scared? Everyone in the graveyard just wants to be friends.
Next up is Wretched VCP. Next up we got the Haunted Shovel.
I was from the mortal world, but no more. I've come back to dig up the dead and take back what's rightfully mine. Perhaps I'll be digging your grave next.
Next up we have the Distortion's Tombstone. Next up we got Miss Mercy. Next up we got Desmodus. Next up we have Mr. Dark. Next up we got my two Grims. One is the original and then one is customized to be Dr. Phobia in my haunted house.
Alright, now that we've got everyone, let's begin the experiment. Are you ready? The veils of reality shall part as I call upon this experiment to start. Yes, yes, that's it. It's opening. It's working. Okay, the portal's open. Go, go, go. Get out of here.
The host is not here right now. They're busy burying something in the backyard. But we'll have loads of fun while they're gone. The night is young, and I'm ready to party. Are you?
Next up is Blackheart.
Soon you will forget everything. Your life, your past. You will stay with me for the rest of eternity.
Next up we got the Plague Doctor. Next up, we got this Jemmy Butler, which unfortunately does not work. Next up, we got Baphomet.
Do you ever get the feeling of dread? Like somebody is watching you when you are all alone in the dark, and there is nobody there to help you. Don't whine like a pathetic crybaby. Savor this moment. I know I am.
Next up is Demonic Dahlia.
I told you to stay away.
Next up is Harvester of Souls.
Look at me, just as all the others have. Now that I have you, your soul will be mine forever.
Next up is the Buzzhead Butcher.
You want the spikes or the song?
Next up, we got Deathstalker. Next up, we have Emmeline. Next up, we got Nozzles, which is in a different outfit right now, and I'm not going to be activating him, but I do have Nozzles. Next up, we have the Cemetery Tombstone, whose batteries are dead. Next up, we have the Witch Holding Cauldron.
This brew is good to the last drop.
Next up, we got Straight Jack. Next up is the Wailing Banshee. Next up is the classic Jumping Spider. Next up is Rat Girl.
Three blind mice. Three blind
Now she is supposed to be swinging, I just don't have her hung up on a swing.
They run. Not fast enough for me.
Next up is Bloody Bag of Jokes.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? Walking in here upside down like that? Isn't all the blood rushing to your feet?
Next up is the Pumpkin Sentinel. Next up is Buzzsaw.
Did you see that? I saw that.
I also do have a second Buzzsaw, just not set up for this video. Next up, we got Forgotten Farmer.
Go ahead, take a good look.
I'm not going anywhere.
Next up, we got Floating Ghost Girl.
What is happening to me?
Get back! She's in Satan's clutches!
Next up, we got Menacing Molly.
I see dead people, I see ghosts. I see the things that hate you the most.
Next up, we have Deadly Creeper, who unfortunately does not work. Next up, we got the 15-foot Phantom. This is my first ever professional animatronic, body lifted and contorted from Poison Props.